Hi, it's Sean and welcome to YouTube's. So I'm going to keep this brief as I can. Obviously we've had the international break, so for a lot of us that's pretty boring. Although for an England fan, I tell you what, it was really funny when a paper aeroplane going into a goal raises more of a cheer than anything any of the players do. That's just typically English, and that's funny as fuck. Um, no, so yeah, but obviously Harry Kane. We'll talk about him a bit later, but scored two goals. Harry Winks got a start. As far as I'm aware, I know Belgium are playing now, but there are no injuries we have to worry about. There's a bit of sadness, obviously, for Ben Davies. Sadly, he won't be able to play a World Cup, but he's a talented lad, and hopefully, he'll get a chance to play at the World Cup at some point. And you know, that's a bit sad for him. But obviously, Harry Winks did his chances, a world ago. Just looked up, always looked to make a pass, but he wasn't a luxury player. He was, snapping at the tackles. He made runs. He intercepted. He was a very, very good midfielder. And when you see him next to Jordan Henderson, and I mean, I'm not being bad. I mean, Jordan Henderson is a good player, but he is, let's face it, a water carrier for that team. He brings a bit of balance to that team, and every team needs that. I mean, if you ever listen to, say, Owen Hargreaves, they talk about their England squad, their 17th talent player. Who do you leave out? Sometimes you have to leave out a talented player, but you need someone who's willing to work for the team, who will get the ball when you're out of possession. The way Kante does, the way Casemiro does, help give some defensive balance to that team. So but yeah, I don't want to go too much about England, but luckily we are there. Hopefully the US will join us. And who knows, maybe I will see some of you guys here en route to Russia or something to see Pulisic, and that's an American player I actually know, and Yedlin. Sorry, I don't know any more American players. So yeah, but Harry Kane, he's on the Ballon d'Or. That's for me is just incredible because it's hard for me because I remember seeing him. Is it 2013? He was playing in a League Cup game against Middlesbrough. We were watching the penalties. And I remember that because I flew out the next day, and it was just, I think it was near Halloween or something. And no, just the Kyle Walker Halloween videos came out. But what I remember a lot about that is, he didn't look at a world beater. I mean, you weren't looking at him. You look at Lamella and other players to perform, and he wasn't performing. Harry Kane wasn't brilliant. He wasn't terrible. I think he scored a goal. I think but he was what you call a trier, a solid trier. And then fast forward about, I don't know, 14 months maybe, and it's like, he's leading line against Chelsea, and New Year's Day, and he's just destroyed Chelsea. I mean, Cahill probably never been the same since. He had destroyed him, and even giving him a kick and didn't do anything. It was just incredible how well. And we're all in the pub after him. How the hell do you get so powerful? And we're all looking at that. We just never thought he'd do that. And his career's gone from strength to strength. Now, obviously, you've got players like Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy who've been on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. So, honestly, if Harry can have another amazing season where he's on the Ballon d'Or shortlist again, that's when I think that's when you really made it. You're not a one-season wonder, as some fans like to call him. He isn't. And he's just remarkable for what he's become. And obviously he's the England captain, and I just love how many leaders we have on the pitch. We've got Vertonghen, he's maybe not Belgian captain, but he's a leader on the pitch. You've got Alderweireld, who's a leader. Sanchez, I think, was vice captain, I think, at his Colombian club. I don't know. I think he had definitely had some leadership, at Ajax. You've got Wanyama, who's his national team captain. Eric Dyer, who's stepped up and has skipped Spurs. You've got some real leaders on that pitch, and just to see where we are now is incredible. And to be near the stadium. And by the way, if you know what I'm drinking, this isn't booze. If you can see it, see if you can see that. It's a very dark hue. It's a Tottenham tea. It's made by my mate Shan in Tripana in Tottenham. Where, because I live in Enfield, but I am very much close to, still live quite close to Tottenham. And so yeah, one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because I was in shock. Shock is not the right word. I'm just like, you just can't get over it. It's like it's one of our own. I mean, if someone, I mean, I know like Hugo Lloris, yeah, he was nominated. I think he was on that shortlist. Didn't get any votes, but you knew what an amazing goalkeeper was. But this was like Harry Kane. He was the lad that wasn't really doing that much. Went on loan here, went on loan there, went on loan to Norwich, didn't really work out, and now he's this incredible talisman for both club and country. I mean, he is for those you know. I mean, I remember growing up watching Alan Shearer, and Alan Shearer was like a force of nature, and which he was for club and country, apart from a few games prior to Euro '96, and but for club and country, he was an absolute talisman. You can just you knew that if he was on the end of that, he would score more often than not. He'd put it. He'd either get off the goalkeeper or get it from the back of the net. He was just that prolific. And now, our old Harry Kane has that ability to be that. So yeah, and it's just incredible. Our new stadium. I mean, I was thinking about our new stadium, and I was thinking, I'm gonna ask you guys, all you guys, Mike, Jared, Barry, Ben, Maddie, Brandon, Ellie, if you ever watch this, any of you guys actually watch this, YouTube, Tim, all those guys, Jonah. Essentially, if you had the choice to say who would you have, I've put this thought out there in terms on the Chicago page, and one of the teams I have three teams, and the three teams I'd have would be Ajax, Barcelona, and Ipswich. I think Ajax is a very common thread. We both like to play football the right way. Obviously, our club, we've nicked a shitload of Ajax players once they play for other people. Apart from, I think we took Vertonghen and Ericsson straight from Ajax, and but I think the other reason is actually a much more older reason. Actually, the reason Ajax played total football is actually in the roots of Tottenham, and actually in the nursery. Arthur Rowe, who was our 1951 league-winning manager, he learnt it from a guy called Peter McWilliam, and who basically, Peter McWilliam was a Scottish international. He learnt it in the Scottish players were really good at that because they weren't the biggest guys, so playing up in the air, they just weren't going to be able to do that. So the Scots actually developed possession-based football, and so Peter McWilliam, taught Arthur Rowe this. Arthur Rowe took push and run, and he had three notable pupils, and one of them was a guy called Vic Buckingham, and Vic Buckingham isn't that well known as he should be really, and it's quite sad actually, but he helped develop total football, and I'm very lucky. I get to speak to Norman Geller and just learn so much from him, and obviously with a young man called Johan Cruyff, laid down the blueprints for what became total football under Rinus Michels, and then obviously he then went to Barcelona. So this guy paved the way. I mean, this guy was managing abroad at Ajax and at Barcelona. I mean, this guy is considered a legend in both Ajax and Barcelona. And yet, you ask how many Spurs players actually know who this guy is. They'd have to Google him. I did. So I'd have to have Ajax and Barcelona. The other team I'd have is Ipswich. Ipswich were managed to the league title. That's the reason we didn't actually win that year. It was actually Alf Ramsey took Ipswich and they won the league title in '62, I think it was, or yeah, '62. And obviously, what happened next? World Cup was '66, and and obviously Bill Nick, and so that's I'd have them there as trade tributes. Look, Alf Ramsey was one of ours. He became one of yours, and we all had so much glory. And the fact that Tottenham was the nursery for this, we helped develop, push and run. And we're not the only team that played that kind of possession-based football. I'm sure other teams did, but we were the first team to really, we were back, went division, second division into the first division, won it. We weren't able to maintain that. I think Arthur Rowe had to retire because of ill health, and that team kind of broke apart. But then, Billy Nick came in, and he laid the grounds for what became our greatest ever team, the double team. And if you want to think about it, our greatest ever team probably wasn't a double team; it was a '62 team. So, yeah, it's just when I think of our club, I think of it with love, and it's just incredible how we've grown. So yeah, because I know some of the Spurs Chicago guys are looking to come out to Wembley for the game. I know there's a couple of guys from New York who are coming for I think the Liverpool game, possibly the Real Madrid game. Lucky bastards, but it's it's just amazing to see where we're at, and And fortunes can sway. I mean, I remember at the time 2004, Arsenal were went on to have that invincible year, but they seemed to be like the most dominant team in the world at that time. And it's just by sheer dumb luck they didn't win the treble, because they could have easily done that treble that year. That's how good Arsenal were in 2004. They'd all peaked at the exact right time. And, yes, they had a league and they had the Invincibles to show for it, but that team should have had a lot more, because the following year they weren't able to retain their title. They weren't able to do well in Europe. And although they've won the FA Cup since then, and I think they won the League Cup, they haven't really, it shows that, one season you could be invincible or beaters, the next year, if you don't maintain that. And that's what I like to think. We've constantly improved. We're third in the league. Hopefully when we play Bournemouth, hopefully we can bloody well beat this Wembley jinx, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully we'll play Winks and a deep line playmaker, because teams are going to sit back. So look, have the ball. When they have to us on the break, Winks will have that ball moving, and if we keep having large share possession and we make it effective and we keep moving that ball really quickly, that's the thing. I think we're a bit laboured in possession, especially with Dembele, who's a driver of the ball. He runs with the ball. But if you have a guy that's constantly getting the ball, recycling it, and just bing, 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 I think Winks is an answer to the bus parkers. I really do think that. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. So yeah, and Harry and Christian Eriksen, I mean, he wasn't on the Ballon d'Or. When you think the likes of Vardy, Mahrez have been on there, but I'm kind of glad he isn't, because this guy is just incredible. This guy's a Barcelona player, easily. I mean, I remember when he first came over, and I said like, oh well, Ajax, classical, technical, loud drop, and this Danish guy said, don't you dare say Michael Laudrup. I mean, Michael Laudrup is a hero to a lot of Danes. He's probably their greatest ever player. But you just see such quality in Christian Eriksen. We're just so lucky to have him, and obviously I think all teams are catchable. I mean, you've got Chelsea. They've lost Morata. Quite luckily, in some respects, that the international came along. So he's out for about probably out for another 2 weeks, maybe 3 more weeks. That's a shitload of games. That's a shed load of that's a few Champions League games. These games they should win, but then obviously they were lucky that he was there for the Atletico Madrid game. But these games will be a lot harder for them, because they haven't got that cutting edge that Morata is. Morata is a very good player, very intelligent, and like I said, you're only an injury away, and so hopefully, touch wood, we can avoid the injuries and maintain it. And we've got some really, in this month is just going to be amazing. We're playing Real Madrid, we're playing Liverpool, Man United, who are probably the most successful English sides in history, and whatever you want to say about them, they have got what they've got. They have got a history, and a very proud history, and they should be proud of it. And hopefully we're proud of our history, we can make history ourselves. It's nice to be proud of our history, know your roots, but I want to be making history for the right reasons. And players like Kane and Lloris and Jan Vertonghen, Eriksen, we've just got some really, really fine, superb players, and hopefully they'll make a team. We saw Josh Onoma, if any of you saw from England 21s, Dustin Meadow, a guy I met back in April, really nice guy, bit of a fan of Josh Onoma, and I said, look, you just got to see this goal. And I asked him, like, is your bacon sandwich, did it survive the drop? And he goes, no, bacon's all over the place, man, because it was just such a brilliant goal by him. And and then he's beautiful to pass, and he gets the ball, he wants the ball, and he can use it really intelligently. He's got it in it. Obviously, it's under 21s, it's against Scotland, but he's doing it, and hopefully, he can, hopefully he'll develop and play a lot of first team football, maybe in the Championship, but hopefully it'll make him a much better player. So when he comes back to to Spurs, he can really just show his mettle and what he's worth. So yeah, so this is thanks to Mike, who's asked, said, was interested in my pod. He's been a supporter, Eggsy, Spurs Forum, Thomas Chicago, Nashville Spurs, Wes, Jonah, Gary, Nate, Corey, Tom, Rich, Joe, Jared, Ben, Barry, so many fucking names, I can't, Brandon, Maddie, Ellie, Ash, do you know what I mean? So many, you know, and my mates over here as well. You know, Debs, Gel, Mick. I'm very lucky that Spurs is coming in. And there's one more thing. There's a foot golf. If you look at Milwaukee Spurs, they are at MKE Spurs on Twitter. They're doing a foot golf tournament, and part of the proceeds are going to help in the victims of Hurricane Harvey in Houston, helping them buy drywall. And it's a great thing because it's not just them. You've got like Alston Spurs. They did that. They got together, I think, with Houston Spurs to build some help repair some houses. I know that Ben and SC Spurs, they've done some stuff. Chicago Spurs, I know they've done a lot of things, and I'm very proud to be part of this incredible traditional community. Because if you're a Spurs fan, you're not in it for the glory. I mean, you want to be the glory, but you're not in it to be glory chasing. Like, we're on top and be a Spurs fan. But there's something about being Spurs that's special, and it kind of transcends it. So when they're saying, "Oh, Harry's got to leave, he's got to go to, you know, whatever club," yeah, great. So why couldn't he? If he's happy and he's, you know, there's something that money can't buy, and I think that's that thing they can't get. I mean, I thought saying, "Well, look, if he's away from England, should he, you know, transfer to Germany or something? You know, 3-4 years, not play for England, and say, look, I want to play for Germany or whatever. You know, why not?" So, you know what I'm saying? It's just bullshit. So anyway, on that rather, you know, sour note, talking about the media, but yeah. As always, it's always lovely chatting about Spurs. It's always lovely having my tea. Oh, this is gorgeous, by the way. It's called Sings Blend. It's really nice. And yeah, then to try Parna. Nice little plug from them. And yeah, I'm glad you like the pod. And yeah, as always, if you'd like to pick me up on Twitter, I'm at The Real Shogun. Always feel free to give me a shout. Thanks a lot. Take care. It's coming, you Spurs.